Hi there, Terry back again. Hope I find you well. Welcome to my latest video. And I have a little apology to make. I was looking through my back catalogue to choose my next video, and when I came upon Green Arrow Part 1, and it's been 5 months since I made that one, so it's about time we had a Part 2. So we will. Now, all these books back then were suggested for mature readers. So we start with Volume 1, Number 1, from cover date February 88. Mike Grell with the cover, and also the writing and the inking. Ed Hannigan with the pencils, and the colouring was done by Julia Lacremont. The title, Hunter's Moon Part 1. And rather than a synopsis, a quote from Green Arrow. You know, just when I start to think there's hope for mankind, I run into guys like you, and my faith in human nature is restored. And then we have number 2. Again, cover by Mike Grell. All the creators as the last issue, except for Dick Giordano with the inks this time. Hunter's Moon Part 2. And a quote this time from Lieutenant James Cameron, who you will remember was introduced in Longbow Hunters number 2. He says, I don't care who you are, you keep messing in police business, and sooner or later you're going to cross the line. When that happens, I'll take you down hard. And I'll give you one guess who he's saying that to. Number 3, April 1988. All creators as number 2. And the title, The Champions. On a bus in Seattle, 2 men try to rob all the passengers, but Dinah Lance, Black Canary, is on the bus and stops them easily. In space, 2 astronauts are effecting repairs to a satellite when it explodes. Dinah comes home to Ollie's apartment. She tells Ollie about the bus incident and how it made her feel good. They notice what they mistake as a falling star and make a wish. Of course, it's the satellite. Oliver goes out on patrol as Green Arrow. He comes across what he believes is a mugging, but is knocked out by the victim. He comes to in an office with a Mr. Joshua. He apologises and informs GA that the satellite that came down has a biochemical experiment on it that can't get into the wrong hands. Mr. Joshua asked Green Arrow to go to the San Juan Island, where it landed, and pick up the experiment. He does need to avoid being seen by the Chinese, who are claiming it as their experiment. Joshua's first choice for this job was Eddie Fires, who we met in Longbow Hunters number 3. But he is working for the Chinese. Ollie heads to the island. Unknown to him, Eddie Fires has him in his sniper's rifle's sights. Number 4, May 88. All creators as 2 and 3. And it's the Champions Part 2. Having not shot Ollie, Fires meets up with him on the island. They both go looking for the pod, but Fires had laid a trap for Ollie, which injures his leg and slows him down. A storm is likely to seal the island off for 18 hours. Ollie limps towards a cabin he finds in the woods. There's a Native American woman in the cabin. She dresses Ollie's wound, and while explaining she is part of an archaeological team gathering artifacts. Ollie spies amongst the artifacts. He turns on his Geiger counter, which leads him to a canister that holds the experiment. Fires is outside and fires a bullet through the window, and with a little Green Arrow subterfuge, Ollie and the woman escape the cabin. Fires catches up with them and fights Ollie for the canister. Another man working for the Chinese is tailing them, both watching their fight on the mountain. Fires knocks Ollie over the mountain edge. Maccabee, can't read my own writing, then appears training his gun on Fires. He marches him to the edge of the cliff. Ollie climbs up and throws Maccabee over the cliff. He then destroys the canister, and with it destroyed, Eddie and Oliver go their separate ways. Number 5, June 88. Cover by Ed Hannigan and Dick Giordano. The title, Gauntlet. It's written by Mike Grell, pencils Ed Hannigan, inks Dick Giordano. Colours by Julia Lacremont. Quote from Diana Lance this time. Some of us do have to work. Oliver. I mean, we don't all have closets full of money. This issue, Ollie disguises himself as a gay man to stop a gang that have been brutally beating up and sometimes killing within the gay community. Number 6, July 88. Creators and the cover as number 5. Plus some extra inks by Frank McLaughlin. Ollie infiltrates the gang calling themselves the War Hogs that are causing this death and brutality within the gay community. Turns out the leader, Kibo, was gang raped while in prison and also contracted AIDS, so he is instigating all the recent attacks. Green Arrow, while feeling a little sympathetic towards him, attempts to close him and the gang down. Excuse me, itchy nose. Number 7, August 88. Ed Hannigan and Dick Giordano with the cover. Title, Black Canary. It's written by Sharon Wright and Mike Rill. Pencils, Eduardo Barreto and Randy DeBurke. Inks, Dick Giordano and Arnie Starr. Colours, Julia Lacremont. A quote from Diana Lance, talking about her superhero persona. Scars. You'd have to go under the knife to remove those, but the psychological disfigurement, no blade for that, except the cutting edge of life itself. Otherwise you remain a cheerless bird in a gilded cage, a true black canary. And at the end of this issue, Ollie discovers Diana's car has been stolen. Number 8, September 88. Ed Hannigan and Dick Giordano with the cover. The title this time, The Powder Horn Trail. Writer Mike Grell, pencils Paris Cullins, inks Dick Giordano and Gary Martin. And still colouring, Julia Lacremont. Ollie finds drugs in the boot or trunk, for you Americans out there. Thinking they are cocaine, he tastes them, not cocaine, but they taste awful. Diana's car has been repainted and has false plates and is on a ferry from Seattle to Anchorage, Alaska. Ollie hides in the boot or trunk until the ferry gets to its destination. He encounters the smugglers of what actually was powdered rhinoceros horn, a reputed aphrodisiac. Ollie helps the police and the US Customs to stop the gang that instigated it all. Then, in September and October cover dates, 3 annuals were released, and the first, in fact, 49 years in the waiting. We had the first Detective Comics annual, number 1 there. It's called Fables Part 1, The Monkey Trap. The cover is by Klaus Janssen. Lady Shiver and Osensi link. I know I get that wrong. Lady Shiver and Osensei link the annuals. All 3 are written by Dennis O'Neill. Pencils for the issue, Klaus Janssen. Inks by Tony De Zuniga. Lady Shiver and Osensei need to contact Batman. The question is asked to find him. Batman at the time is involved in a case with a much nastier penguin than we've seen before. Along with the penguin and Ra's al Ghul, who are doing a deal with a very deadly drug, Batman owes Osensei a great debt before this case can be closed. Then we have 47 years in the making this time. First Green Arrow annual. And this was by Ed Hannigan and Dick Giordano. Fables Part 2, Lesson for a Crab. Lord Kaleski, a rival archer from England, kills 3 people in Seattle in an attempt to force a confrontation with Oliver Queen. He wants to prove his superior skills to the superhero bowman. The random killings have shook Ollie's confidence. Osensei and Shiva visit him and offer enlightenment so that he can confront his foe. And this was also the first issue where Black Canary and Lady Shiva met. Again, Dennis O'Neill writes, Tom artist, Tim Dizon and Julia Lacremont with the art. Lastly, the first question annual. Cover, Denny Cohen and Bill Sienkiewicz. Fables 3, The Silent Parable. Written by Denny O'Neill, pencils Denny Cohen, inks Rick Magyar, and colours Dejanya Wood. O-sensei wants to be buried by his Japanese wife once he's dead. However, her family have moved her body because they do not want their family disgraced by him. In order to help him, Lady Shiva gathers Batman, Green Arrow, and the Question together, as each of them owe a debt to the O-sensei. Next 4 issues feature Shadow, who first appeared in The Longbow Hunters #1. This story needs reading, so I will just give a quote from each issue, so not to ruin it. Number 9, October 88, Ed Hannigan and Dick Giordano with Bill Ray with the cover. This cover, Ed Hannigan pointed out, was based on a Japanese painted screen from the Edo period, also known as the Tokugawa period, between 1603 and 1868. So, a bit of history for you there. The title for the 4 parts, Here There Be Dragons, and it's written by Mike Grell, pencils Ed Hannigan, inks Dick Giordano and Frank McLaughlin, and the colours Julia Lacremont. Quote 1 from Ollie. I'll tell you one thing, if I could turn back the clock, I'd kill that expletive deleted all over again. Number 10, November 88, covered by Mike Grell and Bill Ray this time, and the quote number 2 from Green Arrow. All those years of wearing that mask, and it turns out the only reason nobody figured out who I was is they never really tried. Makes sense, I suppose. Number 11, December 88, covered by Mike Grell and Joe Rubinstein this time, and the internal creators as of 9 and 10. Quote number 3 from Shadow this time. Try to think of the bow as a woman. It responds better if you take time to know it, rather than simply trying to bend it to your will. Number 12, January 89, Ed Hannigan, Dick Giordano. Internal creators as 9 to 11. Quote 4, back to Ollie, and this could have been the word balloon on this cover. The way I see it, we can do one of 2 things. Run for it, in which case they can overtake us in a powerboat and machine gun us from a safe distance, or stand and fight. No, you're right. Too big for a word balloon on a cover. And the last 2 issues, this part. Number 13, December 88, cover by Ed Hannigan and Dick Giordano. Internal creators as the last few issues, other than Dan Jurgens with the pencils. Title, Moving Target. And this issue, Ollie helps out Dinah with her flower deliveries from her shop, Sherwood Florist. First he knocks out a suspected wife beater whilst delivering flowers to the wife. Then he fetches a cat stuck in a tree for the little girl owner. He delivers flowers to a wedding and helps the groom with his bow tie. He helps a woman with a flat tyre and changes it for her. Later as Green Arrow he stops a mugging. Later on he takes Dinah to dinner. As they are walking, a car nearly runs them down. By the time they get to the car, the driver's gone. And the next morning, as he is bending over to grab a newspaper from the machine, he is unaware a sniper's bullet goes through a shop window just over his head. He walks away unaware someone is trying to kill him. And our last issue for this part, number 14, January 89. Ed Hannigan and Dick Giordano with the cover. Moving Target, Part 2. All creators as last issue. Ollie and Dinah are attending a production of Cats when Ollie is narrowly missed being killed by a sniper's bullet. They find the place the sniper was and find shell casings and equipment that is top drawer. Ollie first goes to Eddie Fires to see if it was him. He backtracks on the things that he did the day before, hoping it would bring some clue to who he's trying to kill him. I'm not going to tell you, as this is a fun, if not murderous, conclusion that needs reading. Well, that part 2 done. I have yapped enough. I will get a part 3 done quicker than this part 2, I promise. Let me know in the comments if that's what is wanted. Thumbs up and comments. And I only do it really for that. And if you're new and like the content, please subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.